Hello, this is Nelson's podcast. Just want everybody to know I'll be on the playground later today after 5. I'll be making quesadillas for the adults, and hopefully no adults show up because it's too hot to eat a quesadilla. And I'll just have popsicles for the kids.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the American Podcast, where our diversity is our culture. Today we got a special guest. Some of you might know him as Big Daddy, JQ, or James. I know him as the man and creator of the parties we used to grow up with in the 90s. Parties like Freak Mode, Scenario, and Blow Your Mind. Please welcome James, JQ, Big Daddy, however you call him. Just welcome the man.
My day name Monday through Thursday is Steve, so it's okay to call me Steve.
All right, we'll do it like that, Steve.
Right.
You
No,
got
I'm just
multiple
kidding.
names.
I'm just kidding.
Cool,
Nell,
man.
you look so good, man.
Yeah, you too. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. How you been?
I've been good, man. Just laying low.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to like be MIA, like quiet, like take yourself away from social media.
For sure.
Not because there was any animosity with anybody or I was in trouble or anything, but it's just good to take a break from distractions, period. So
It definitely takes up way more time than it needs to.
yes.
The life, you need to live life. I think if anything, COVID's taught us we need to take this time to live. So
Yeah, there was one point where I bought new furniture,
yeah.
and for a while when I was working, before I kind of retired, I never got to sit on it. So it's crazy. Like I never was able to sit on just this very simple couch that I bought for the house.
Now
And
there's
it just-
dents in it.
And now my body imprint
Yeah.
is like a murder scene on the couch now. You can actually chalk line my fat figure on it. So just all you got to do on my couch is just look for the circle.
There we go. And that's
me.
you.
Yeah.
And then,
People go, "Are you in shape?" I go, "Well, circle's a shape."
right. I love that. The last time we talked, I mean, it was probably like 20 years ago. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, it's been that long.
That's the good thing about you Filipinos. You guys don't age at all.
Well, Islander in general, like you're Chamorro, right?
I'm
like,
full tomorrow, yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean? Well, I know our history goes back to like Kearney High School when you used to work there, and I was a student.
Yeah.
That's when I was like a little breakdance kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I always were jealous of you guys because you guys could do moves I couldn't. I was just doing them in my head, so
Right?
I couldn't do a windmill to save my life.
Oh, it took a lot of pain and suffering.
Yeah. You would have to call 911 if I tried to do a kickworm or anything like that.
Right. Well, at that time, that was kind of like when your reign of events started, right?
Yeah.
How'd you start throwing those events anyway?
So a long time, one of my best friends, X-Ray, DJ X-Ray, he created a group called Three Style. So the original members were Mike Farron, Mike Fresh, Rich Faustino, Richie Rich. He went by Richie Rich, and X-Ray. So it was those three, and Jay Alanis. So all those three or four were the Three Style, but it was Mike, Rich, and Ray that did it first, and then branched off with Jay. And I came in a little bit later in the scene because at first I was just trying to learn the game. So I would go to events. I would see how I could put my hip hop twist to it, because my whole thing was with hip hop was to bring out the music that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fell in love with hip hop, but it was just my way of expressing. I couldn't break. I couldn't paint. I could play music. I could DJ.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something on another level.
Sure.
And it worked out really well. So, I just remember back in the days, it was like, okay, let's throw a party. So the first party that I did was in the late 80s, but it wasn't nothing like the very, very first event, which was Scenario 1, which was with Mike Farron, a group called Under Construction, where they were involved with Ray, where they did Norway Hall. They did a place off University in the alley. It was called Norway Hall. Totally illegal back in the days because you could be 16, 17. And they were serving beer, but what the kids didn't know is that it was O'Doul's.
Oh, serious?
So you ever meet those people that they're drinking a non-alcoholic drink
Yeah.
and they think there's alcohol, and then they just start going, "Oh my God, I'm so faded. I'm faded. Faded. I had 4 O'Doul's. I could feel it."
Oh, wow.
Like, it's non-alcoholic, bro. Like, really? Oh, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's got to be a little bit in it.
Something. Oh wow.
But it branched off into scenario 1, which was, do you know Ben Clenor? Benji Clenor? You ever heard of Ben?
I don't.
So Ben's from Legend San Diego Entertainment.
Oh yeah.
So I'll forward that to today on what's happening today with Legend LA. So Benji had to connect with the warehouses off Miramar Road, and we only had to pay the security guard like $20.
Oh.
So there was a vacant, big warehouse with like an 18-wheeler garage that would roll up that could fit an 18-wheeler in it. So Nelson, another Nelson from Naughty Company, him, his brother Glenn, they brought their van. They had their dad's old blue Chevy van. I think it was a Chevy van. Come through, and it was crazy because they backed up the system in there. We had access to the power. It was crazy, and I never got to go to the event.
What?
Yeah, because what I learned in the underground is when there were all the techno raves, is you would buy a ticket, but on the back of the ticket would be the directions to the place.
Right.
So you would have to go somewhere else because they were illegal. So you'd have to go somewhere else, buy the ticket. The money's in one place, and then they'd go to the venue, which was a warehouse. And it was I think we did like 5 kegs. Wasn't O'Doul's though.
It was the real stuff.
Yeah, it was like the real stuff, but it was 18 and up.
Yeah.
And that was the start of it. Then we went scenario 1 in Miramar, scenario 2, which was in Escondido at a club called City Limits.
City Limits, right? Yep. Down
And
the street
then
from
scenario 3 was at Diego's, which is the original from PB Bar and Grill off Garnett.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of learned and honed in how to plan, and everything's a work in process.
Yeah.
It's a process to everything.
Yeah, and you just get better and better.
So yeah,
after each time.
hopefully, the first one I heard we had over 2,000 people, and I didn't even get to go.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even get to go, which was crazy. So me and DJ Rage, he was stuck at Cookie's Diner in Mission Valley. Cookie's Diner.
Was it cookies or cookies?
Whatever, it was
I think
cookies.
it was cookies.
Well,
right?
I'm overweight, so I always think of cookies. And then I was at Roberto's on Plaza Boulevard.
Yeah.
That's now Jollibee.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's the same exact place, but it used to be Roberto's. So I had to bring one of my Latino homies with me so he could speak Spanish to the owner or the manager to let me go behind the counter and sell the tickets. So for those of you who are throwing undergrounds still, hey, hats off to you, because that's how I started.
Yeah.
The key to not getting busted from selling tickets is if you're behind a proprietor's business behind the counter, the police cannot arrest you, cite you for selling anything, because the owner is licensed to sell whatever he wants.
So
all
you're
I sold
using his
was paper.
license.
Basically, all I was selling was paper.
Yeah.
With directions.
Right.
Nothing illegal about that.
There we go.
The police in National City or in Mission Valley are not going to drive all the way to Miramar if it's not in their jurisdiction.
Right.
Things are a little different now.
Yeah.
But back then they didn't care. Back then they didn't care. They were just like, oh, they're having a party.
Right. Well, I remember back when too, like when you were at Kearney and I was at Kearney, I remember I would promote your events in exchange, to be put on like VIP to get the crew name Play School on the flyer. Like
Play School.
Everyone lived for that. You know what I mean?
Who was in Play School? Was Elroy in Play School?
Well, there was like
Rampage.
There was like this other Play School that was like Play School Junkies, and so we're actually documenting all the different crews.
Okay.
But I don't believe the people that you just mentioned were in them, but they might have been in the other.
Yeah. Okay.
So real weird.
Dope.
But I was just curious, like how marketing these days is a lot different than it was back then. So I remember I used to promote your stuff back then. Did you just have a bunch of dudes like promoting your stuff and handing out flyers like we did?
Well, everybody promoted.
Yeah.
Everybody in the crew. I mean, we used to print 10,000 flyers.
That's ridiculous.
Nowadays, you don't print 10,000 flyers unless you're advertising a restaurant or something, It's
Right.
just, posting bills everywhere. That was like the real street promotion, guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
And now the world has become all digital,
Right.
where you could send a text. Back then, you couldn't send a text, which is crazy, right? We think that text has been around. New millennium person's like, text? You guys didn't have text? You didn't have Instagram? I mean, I remember,
We have
when there was
pagers.
MySpace, that was like the greatest thing, right? MySpace. It was like the greatest thing to post your pictures and stuff. But yeah, we made flyers, and I still made a few flyers just to give to people as an invite.
Yeah, it's nice to have a.
Yeah, it's
something
nice to have a
touch.
hard copy.
Yeah,
But back in the days, it was different, man. It was tough because we needed 500 people just to even pay for the event,
right,
and it was $10 back in the day.
right.
But now it's evolved to where, like today, for instance, for this Sunday, September 4th, I know you're going to put this show on a little bit later, but we talk about the reunion today.
Yeah.
And hopefully those that are listening came and had a good time. But
sure.
I was able to make it free, like
Yeah.
no cover.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because my whole thing when I first started this was like, man, I just want to make a little bit of money to buy myself a new bike,
Right.
or a skateboard. Like all the cool kids had a bike, like a Haro bike with
Yeah.
mags, and
Something sick.
Christian Hosoi skateboard. I didn't have none of that. I grew up in Paradise Hills, man. You know what I mean? So
You had a Veriflex and shit.
no, I
got Huffy.
didn't. I had to steal the skateboard and the bike. I mean, I gave it back after I got my own. I said, hey man, by the way, I stole your bike 6 months ago. Here's it back.
Here goes.
Well, I already bought a new one. Okay, well here's another one.
Well, crazy to think back then. Like you guys were kids throwing parties like grown-ups. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy to think about. Like what kind of struggles did you guys go through to throw these parties?
The main thing is we were having fun.
Yeah.
We were doing something we love to do. And I believe that if you walk around and you have good energy, people will gravitate to you.
For sure.
No one wants to hang around that has the Fuchi face all day, you know what I mean? Complaining. It's hot. It's too cold. You know what? I don't have any clothes to wear. Closet full of clothes, right? Typical, whoever, whether it be men and women. I don't want to just point out women because I don't want to get crucified. But men and women, closet full of clothes. I have nothing to wear for tonight. What am I going to wear? That's not going to match. It's not the right type of season. But for us, it was just like, you know what? Let's just do a party and see who comes. And that was when I started promoting Ruin Clothes, which is now Dice One Clothing.
Oh, that was.
But I
huge.
remember when Ruin Clothes had all their shirts in the front living room of their house in Chula Vista. Dice One and his brother.
That's crazy.
And then I remember when I met Carl from Tribal, he had Baja Arts in Imperial Beach, which was a printing shop.
Wow.
Tribal was in a very, very small section of his store, but it was just like 2 of those Costco industrial racks.
Yeah.
Just shirts, 2 racks. That's what Tribal started with.
Wow.
And I was, I tend to think, I was kind of with Tribal from the very jump. And just a dope feeling, man, because,
Yeah.
promoting Tribal, promoting like No Sellout, my man Zard, all those companies that now, look at Tribal, they got a big warehouse downtown, they got the lower left. It's great to see people that you're involved with evolve into
Yeah.
something great,
Definitely.
and
People making it, and
Yeah.
you were there from the beginning, so you were.
Yeah.
You could take it as you helped with their success. For sure.
I'm not going to say I helped.
You were if you
I
were
just
there.
I just tried to do my part in contributing to their success.
Yeah.
They really didn't need help.
Yeah.
I was just I at that time wanted them as like a sponsor and create like this thing where, man, they got a lot of sponsors. They got Tribal, they got Ruin, and then it started trickling along as the years went by. More and more people were like, hey man, I'll give you $50 to be on a little spot on the flyer. So if you look on the back of like Blow Your Mind 1, I used to write those little sayings in the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And put like people's logos. And that's
Yeah.
when the logos became like, oh man, I need to make a logo. I
Right.
need to get on the flyer.
Right. Branding.
Yeah, it's all about branding. And now everything's digital. Times have changed. But, hopefully I can do this once a year now that I'm, turning 50.
Yeah.
And then from then on, just do this once a year to bring everybody back. Lately, my whole thing, the last 3 years, the reason why I did this event is because I lost so many friends and family for the past 3 years because of COVID.
It's terrible.
I lost my friend Carlo, my friend Pat. I even lost my first cousin who died in my old home in Chula Vista.
Wow.
So one of the big reasons why we relocated from that home, because he died, basically had a stroke and died in the bathroom. And then he didn't die in the house, but he didn't wake up from it. He was in a coma.
Yeah.
And then he died a week later from brain damage. So that was my first cousin. His dad's my mom's brother. So he was a little older than me by a couple of years. But it just made me real sad, man. It was really hard to function,
right,
knowing that your family member's presence, their last presence here with you was in your house.
Right.
You know?
That's tough.
But yeah, man, we had a good time, man. We had Shazam on Sunday nights at Diego's. Just looking at the backdrop, the late, great, my man, my brother, my Uso, DJ Cutfather, Marcus Tufano. We did a thing at the World Beat Center off Hancock. What a lot of people don't know is the original World Beat Center was off Hancock in Old Town.
Yeah, that was the spot.
Yeah, there was one, like, not even air conditioning. It was a ceiling fan, and it would blow like this crazy tornado in the club where it would be a little bit cooler, but it was a sweat box.
Yeah, I remember people would just go out into this little, like, outside patio, which was so small, but just to get some kind of relief.
It was packed like 1,500. I mean, I remember when I had the Black Eyed Peas there with the Small Wonder.
Yeah.
Chino from 933. You know, we were all worked at Z90.
Yeah.
And we brought the Black Eyed Peas, and this was before they blew up with Fergie.
That's so sick. Yeah, that's when they was dancing too.
Yeah.
So they were jumping in circles.
Appity Taboo, Will.i.am, all of them were, and I got pictures, which is crazy. Beth Enner's in the background, Small Wonder's in the background.
Yeah.
Checking them out. He was actually doing their set.
That's so sick. Yeah. Talking about, being on the radio and stuff, because, you brought all these people and events. Then you also got on the radio on Z90 specifically. Yeah. How'd you land a gig like that?
So I was in there because a buddy of mine was guest DJing, Stephen Flex, from a legendary group here with my man King D, Tehran. It was LPSD.
LPSD,
Strictly Dope. So I went in there to sit in and watch Stephen because I was a fan of Stephen Flex. Stephen Flex is probably the most underrated hip-hop DJ in the world.
For sure.
To me, I think he's one of the best hip-hop DJs besides DJ Rags. DJ Rags is dope too.
Yeah.
I love Rags. So, and me and Rags, we started out, with like on Z90.
Yeah.
He was there a little bit before me. He had a show called The Arena. And then I took it over from Crazy J Nelson, and then Cutfather took it after me because I got promoted, and then over the years I got promoted to like production director, where I was in the studio all day.
Yeah.
And then I also did the night show 6 to 10.
Yeah.
But it started with me sitting in there, learning and watching, and I sat there for 2 years every weekend.
Oh, okay.
Every weekend as a kid. I got in there when I was 17. I was still at San Diego State. Every weekend.
Wow.
Every weekend I went there. I went to Z90, sat in, didn't say anything. Watched Crazy J and learned.
So you're just grinding every weekend.
Trying to grind. Trying to get out Paradise Hills, man. Even though I love Paradise Hills.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get out of my mom's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone would.
Love my mom, rest in peace. But it gets to a certain point in your life where you just want to be on your own.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Being on the radio there, you got any cool stories you can share? Like meeting people or whatnot?
I was never starstruck.
Okay.
On a hip hop tip, Craig Mack came to the station first. I love the song Flavor in Your Ear. I met him, super nice dude.
Yeah.
And then the next trip around, a buddy of mine from Power 106, Jeff Garcia, calls me and says, "Hey man, Puffy and Biggie are headed down to San Diego." He goes, "But I'm gonna bless you." I said, "Oh, really?" He says, "Yes. Do you have a DAT tape machine inside your studio?" I said, "Yeah, I got a DAT." He goes, "Do you know how to convert it to MP3? I said, yeah, of course." He goes, "I'm gonna bless you, man. My DAT machine's broken."
Ooh.
So you're gonna be the first DJ on the radio and the first DJ in California and the East Coast to play going back to Cali. Because you got to remember, back in 95, 90 or 92, 95, all the way to 95, there was no Serato yet.
Right.
Everything was vinyl.
Right.
I mean, I forgot when Serato came out, but when Serato came out, then we all sold our records and stuff. But what I'm saying is, like, a DAT tape to convert to an MP3 CD and burn it and be able to play it. So I made like 10 copies.
Sick.
I kept 2 for us, and I gave 8 to Puff Daddy.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so they can go on the road and give it to other stations.
Right.
So I just gave them extra. So what's cool is the cool part of the story is that Biggie had this bad boy jacket. It was like a windbreaker. It was 5X.
Oh.
So I say, hey Biggie, that's a dope jacket. He goes, you want it? I was like, nah, that's too big for me. He took it off and gave it to me.
He gave you the jacket off his back.
I swear, I still have it at home.
I would never give that thing away.
I don't need to lie to you. My son's right here, and I don't need to tell no fictitious story. But yeah, I have the jacket at home.
Yeah, 5X. That's for sure Biggie's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
5X. I put it on, and I could be naked underneath it, you know? 5X. I'm not a 5X no more, so.
That's a great story. I love that story.
But we went to Olive Garden. Me, him, and the record rep.
Uh-huh.
Puffy had already left. And we went to Olive Garden.
Oh, okay.
So
put it down at Olive Garden.
Oh man, especially when the record rep paid for everything.
Oh hell yeah!
But yeah,
won everything.
But that's one of my cool stories. Mac 10, he's a butthole, but it's okay.
Yeah.
No one's perfect.
Oh,
but you know, when you're an artist, you're making millions of dollars.
Everyone wants to talk to you.
Everybody wants to talk to you, so I get it, the frustration and how he could feel. But
for sure, I get it.
But I was never really starstruck until I met Whitney Houston.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, cool. Whitney Houston. And where did we eat? Olive Garden. Olive Garden was the spot because the station was off 3rd Avenue.
Right.
Okay. So Olive Garden was right down the street off H.
Right. Oh, that was
H and Broadway. So it was only like 2 streets over.
So Olive Garden saw a lot of people come through.
Yeah, we had the back room. You know, people were tripping. Oh my God, Whitney Houston. You know. And I was like, damn, Whitney Houston, okay. And I always ask people that sing to sing. She's like, I'm good right now. I wanted everybody to sing. Don't judge me. I even had R. Kelly sing at our table in Vegas.
Oh, I'm not mad at that. I'd do it.
I mean, I like R. Kelly's music. I don't agree with what he's done.
Oh, yeah, you can't side that way.
I can't side that way. But everybody knows, hey, whether you like it or not, you know, R. Kelly's music, because the dude produces, genius. Arranges it, writes it, sings it.
He knows the formula of an R&B song.
Shout out DJ Rels. DJ Rels is in the building. DJ Rels got the Benjamin Button disease. Every time I see him, he keeps getting younger and younger and sexier and sexier.
Nice.
Look at his legs. Look.
I need that.
Look, I'm trying to get back in shape so I can be in the digital catalog for JCPenney in the senior citizen section. I'm going to be rocking some tight-ass Dockers, some loafers, and I'm going to rock a tight-ass members-only jacket.
Wow, you already got it in
I got
your
a plan,
mind.
I'm not going to be in the catalog, just the digital catalog.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want it printed.
But look at Rels, man. He got the Benjamin Button. Man, look at it. He's been working out. He's been doing calf stretches or something.
Looking good.
He's been lifting heavy bags of penny saw. Look at them arms. Sexy. Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, yes, sir. Shout out to the Sharpshooters crew, Rels, Pac-Man, Felt One, all the Sharpshooters, D-Tech. I want to shout them out, man.
Yeah, they're all going to be here tonight. Hopefully we see everyone. So again, you got an event coming up. Your very own 50th birthday bash. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine you learned a lot in your life over these last 50 years.
Yeah.
What would you tell the 20-year-old James about, you know?
To be even more nice than I already was. Just to love everybody. You know, I tell my 2 sons, because they're still in their 20s, I said, in order to get love, you got to give it.
Sure.
If you don't give no love, why should anybody, why should they reciprocate it back to you?
Yeah.
So I just believe in trying to be, and I have my days. Everyone has their days. But I try to be that ray of light to walk in the room and be like, hey, what's up, And now you can't really hug everybody. You got to kind of give them a pound, you know what I mean?
It's hard to give people love these days.
But you can give them a pound, okay, there you go.
Yeah, you give them a pound, but, biggest thing is probably just listening to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different little bits of pieces of advice to give to people. And one I always give is, you probably heard, is listen twice as much as you talk.
Yeah. I talk way too much. My girl tells, you talk too much. You don't listen enough.
It's a big deal, man.
Sometimes you need that partner in your life.
Yeah.
Whether it's a male or female, that's going to guide you along. That's going to keep you grounded.
You got one.
And, she definitely keeps me grounded. That's for damn sure.
Hell yeah.
It's like a delayed flight.
Right.
But I love her, and find that person you love that's, on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to have that person to keep you grounded.
Yeah, I'm glad you found one.
Yeah, because, man, if I wasn't, I'd probably be running loose at 50. Like,
Well,
That'd
I
be
tell ya,
dangerous.
yeah, right. But well, I say that too. But you know what's real weird is I don't know how people do it now, because I got single friends and they talk about what they go through. I'm like, ooh, I can't go through it. So,
Right?
I'm glad I don't have to go through that.
I feel you.
So back in the day, with those events, like the things I remember back in the day were like that stood out were like the performances, the sick DJs that were always out, obviously the B-boys and the pager giveaways. What was your favorite thing about the events you threw?
Just everybody coming together.
Yeah.
It was very rare that we had a lot of drama.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you cater to one specific community, you know, I grew up in Paradise Hills. You know, I'm a native San Diegan. So when you grow up in a community and you have all these people to support you, you know, it's just good energy, man.
Yeah.
You know, the problem nowadays is that when you're doing good, you have those haters. Their job is to hate people while they're doing good.
Right.
No one hates you while you're doing bad. You know what I mean? They're actually cheering you on when you're doing bad, behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at Nelson, he's doing his podcast. But you're doing something positive.
Right.
But people always find a way to turn it into a negative. So that's when you just kind of dust off your shoulders, smile,
Yeah.
kill them with kindness,
Yeah.
and just be that ray of light, man.
For sure.
Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect.
No.
But your demeanor, your attitude,
Mm-hmm.
the aura that you put out, people could see right through it. People are not stupid anymore, you know?
Yeah.
They're not naive to the past.
Right. I totally get you there. Well, Jay, it was cool reliving the 90s with you.
We'll do this again, man.
Yeah, for sure. We're
got
going to get some
1,000 more
people on.
stories.
Yeah, we're going to get some more people on, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to wish you again a happy birthday, and let's, live it up tonight.
Yes, sir.
Cool,
Thanks,
man.
Neil.
Thank you
Good to
again.
see you, brother.
Yeah. Thanks again for watching the American Podcast, where our diversity is our culture. Again, thank you, JQ, for joining us, and we'll see you next time.